Today we're here at Hannaford talking with Andrea Paul, the registered dietitian, and we're going to talk about root vegetables.
I'm excited to talk about some nutritional aspects of root vegetables as well as the budgetary aspects of incorporating them into your diet.
Okay, we're going to start with carrots. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, let's go take a look.
Carrots. We're here in the carrot section, our first stop. So carrots are probably one of the most common root vegetables, probably the one that people are most familiar with. And today we can find them in various formats here in the grocery store. So we have in the kind of prepackaged, ready to go, we have the matchstick carrots, the carrot chips, and the baby carrots. So all, good for snacking, for different recipes, different functions, things like that. However, you'll notice, in the more prepared, more convenient packs, if you look here at the unit price, which is this little orange rectangle here, the price per pound varies from $1.99 per pound to $2.86 per pound for these matchstick carrots. So the reason we like to look at the unit price is that tells us how much bang we're getting for our buck, essentially. So this is $2.86 per pound versus if we're going down to the full bag of carrots, fully grown, full-size carrots, the unit price on these is only 59 cents per pound. So really, you need to see what fits in within your budget and in the function that you're going to use them for. From a nutritional aspect on carrots, they're a really good source of potassium and fiber, and of course beta carotene. So beta carotene is the antioxidant that's in carrots and was actually named beta carotene because it was first identified in carrots. So it's a precursor for vitamin A. So if you've ever heard the saying, you never see a bunny wearing glasses, that's because vitamin A is really good for our eyes. And of course, bunnies really like carrots.
What are some other forms and formats of carrots that we can find in the grocery store?
So we'll probably be able to find some canned carrots in the grocery store, in the canned vegetable aisle, and I believe we'll probably be able to find lots of different forms of frozen carrots as well in frozen food. So those are also great options too because they last a little bit longer. I mean, kept in proper storage, the full carrots will last quite a long time in your refrigerator. But those are another really good convenient options too and very budget friendly.
Okay, we'll take a look at those in a little bit.
All right.
Thanks.
So one of my absolute favorite root vegetables is beets. And there's lots of different things you can do with beets. You can boil them, you can roast them, you can make pickled beets with canning. If you're new to beets, I find a lot of people have an adverse reaction to beets because they're not really sure. They have this deep red color and they can get messy in the kitchen. They can stain your clothes, so you want to make sure you wear an apron of something like that if you're breaking down beets. But for convenience, if you want to give beets a try, these little package of Love Beets are really great. They're a little on the pricey side. However, if you're new to beets, like I said, this might be a good option to try some fresh beets. You can toss them in a salad or just try them on their own. They're pretty convenient and very nutritious. So we have some lovely beets with the beet green tops here. And these are red globe beets, which are probably the most common form of beets that you'll find here in the grocery store. There's a couple different varieties that we might get in on occasion. So there's candy cane beets that have a red and white stripe on the inside. There's also golden beets or yellow beets, which are, still very, very nutritious. This deep purple, deep red color really indicates a high potency or high level of antioxidants in the beets. They're also a great source of potassium and fiber, and they also are a good source of folate as well. So these are really kind of a nutritional powerhouse.
What are some ways we could use these?
Well,
how do we prepare them?
Well, beets are great. You want to peel the skin off the beets first of all, and you could grate them and add them to a salad raw, or you could roast them or boil them. You could can them. They're really great, a lot of different ways. And they have a really nice sweet flavor to them, but a little earthy too. So that's kind of a nice combination. And you'll also find them in the canned food section. And a great thing about beets is that they retain their color and their nutrition even when they're canned. So convenience-wise, if you want to give beets a try, maybe grab a can of canned beets or pickled beets even are going to have some nutritional benefits as well. Despite, the canned or pickled beets might have a little extra sodium. But if you give them a rinse, you can get up to about 40% of the sodium off with the canned vegetables. Yeah. All right, so the other great thing about beets is that you can actually eat the beet greens here. So you can chop them off, give them a good wash, and wilt them down just like you would spinach or kale. And because you can also see the purple here, that means that you're getting some of the antioxidant and the good nutrition that you find in the beets in the greens as well. All right, so we're in another section of the store where we can find lots of fruits and vegetables. We're in the canned vegetable section. Now, canned vegetables kind of get a bad rap sometimes because they're often canned with a lot of extra salt. And one way we can kind of find ones that are a little bit healthier for us, maybe have a little less sodium, is the Guiding Stars program. And Hannaford has had the Guiding Stars program for about 10 years now. And basically it's just a nutritional rating system that helps customers identify healthier choices in the grocery store. So what we want to look for is this little blue man or blue woman, whichever, with a little green tag on the bottom of the price tag, and they'll have either 1, 2, or 3 Guiding Stars over their head. So, 1 is good, 2 is better, and 3 is best, and it's rated on things such as added sodium, added sugar, saturated fat. A good place to compare certain products because you can just scan the shelves and look for the green tags, and then you're picking out a nutritionally better choice here. However, canned vegetables, even though they get a bad rap, you can give them a really good rinse and get up to about 40% of the sodium off of the canned vegetables. And you can also look for canned vegetables that are canned with no added sodium, which, like the green beans over here, no added salt, and you'll also see that they get 3 Guiding Stars. So that's kind of a way to find those no added salt vegetables. In terms of root vegetables, there's lots of different options here. We have the sliced beets here, which don't get any Guiding Stars at the moment because of the added sodium. However, as we knew from back in the produce department, canned beets hold their color and their nutritional value despite being canned. So there's canned beets in a variety of different forms here. We also have the pickled beets up here, which again, pickling is going to be a little higher in sodium, but again, giving them a good rinse. And, if you're having just a few here and there, like on a salad or something like that, you're not really going to have, the sodium be too high. We also have, these are no salt added sliced carrots. So those would be great, to have as a side dish for your dinner or to throw in a soup or something like that. So these would be a good option as well. So there's another form of root vegetables right there. So we're now in the frozen food section, the frozen vegetables. So we have a couple different forms of root vegetables in frozen. So we have just the crinkle cut carrots here, which are really great you could boil these or add them to a casserole or add them to a soup. So the one thing I love about frozen vegetables in all their forms is that they are already washed and cut for you. So there's a really good convenience factor there. And they keep a lot longer because they are frozen. And, you can have them on hand, so you'll always have, vegetables on hand to add to your dinners or your meals. Nutritionally, frozen is just as good as fresh, if not better in some cases, because they're picked and packaged at their peak ripeness versus, some vegetables that are fresh need to be transported here longer distances, so they have to be picked before their peak ripeness, in which case, some of the nutritional benefits may be not as strong as in frozen vegetables. So this is one form of a root vegetables, like I said, the crinkle cut carrots. And then there's also these great steam and bag vegetables. So these it's not all root vegetables, it's broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. But these are really nice because you can just pop them right in the microwave. And so that's a really nice, convenient, and easy way to get some extra veggie.
So we're here in front of the potato section. There's so many different shapes and colors of potatoes.
There are. And first I'll mention that in terms of, what family these fit into, potatoes are actually known as a tuber as opposed to a root vegetable. And that's just because they're at the bottom of the root, and they're essentially like a reservoir for carbs and sugars to grow the rest of the plant. So they kind of support the rest of the plant. But yes, we do have a lot of different varieties of potatoes, and a lot of different ways we can cook them. So over here we have kind of a more convenient package. These are steam and bag red potatoes and gold potatoes and fingerling potatoes. So you just throw those in the microwave. Very convenient. And then we have the bags of the smaller red potatoes. We have gourmet fingerling potatoes, purple potatoes. So the color would indicate some of the nutritional qualities. So the deeper purple are going to have some more antioxidants in them. And then these are, over here we have our, classic russet potato. So these are what are most usually used for things like French fries or mashed potatoes because they are really starchy. And when you're eating the skin here, as long as you give it a good watch, that's going to provide you with some fiber. So all potatoes are good sources of potassium, and they have some fiber and some complex carbohydrates and some simple carbohydrates. And then we have the yellow and the red potatoes, which are more suited to things like roasting as opposed to the russet potatoes. So these are really great roasted, just tossed in some olive oil with some, or any kind of oil really, any kind of cooking oil with some, a little salt, pepper, and a few spices, and you can roast these up and they'll taste really good. That's one of my favorite ways. And then here we have sweet potatoes. Now, sweet potatoes are a true root vegetable, so they're a little bit different than the tubers of the potatoes because they have, some of them have these little hairs on them, so that's kind of how you can tell that they're a true root vegetable. So sweet potatoes are fantastic. They have that deep orange color, which means they're a really great source of beta carotene, that antioxidant, and they're full of fiber, full of potassium, and they are a little higher in sugar because they are sweet potatoes, but they are really a nutritional powerhouse, really, really good source of nutrition.
So let's look at the price differences between the different forms of potatoes here that we have offered.
Absolutely. So generally, the larger package or larger container of something that you buy, the unit price is going to be a bit lower. So because these are individual potatoes, we don't have that little orange square on it that says the unit price, but they're all priced per pound here. So you have 99 cents per pound pretty much across the board. This is a 1.5 pound bag for $3. So, that's getting a little bit up there in terms of price for potatoes versus the rest of them. And then, of course, like these more gourmet potatoes, these gourmet different colored fingerling potatoes, this is a 16-ounce bag for $2.99. So that's pretty high in price compared to the plain potatoes. If we go on the other side and get a big bag of potatoes, that price is going to be much, much lower.
So looking at these different sizes, this is 2 bags for $5, and these are 4-pound bags.
Yeah.
This is 10 pounds for $4.99. That's a lot different in price than the $2.99 for those little tiny potatoes.
Absolutely.
For $1.99 a pound versus
right.
And these are supporting local economy with Maine
exactly.
potatoes.
Yeah, these are coming from Fryeburg, Maine.
And how would I store a 10-pound bag of potatoes? How do I keep those?
You want to keep them separate from your onions, which is something that I recently discovered. You want to keep your potatoes and your onions separate. But you want to store them in a cool, dry spot, kind of in a darker area as well. So
maybe in the bottom of my pantry closet?
Yeah, bottom of the pantry, in a dry spot in the basement or something like that. So you want to keep them cool, you want to keep them dry and kind of out of direct sunlight. If they start turning green, then that's kind of when you want to maybe, either use them up quickly, or if they get really green or start sprouting hairs or something like that, then it might be time to toss them.
Or plant them.
That's right, yeah. Probably one of the more popular forms of potatoes, of course, is French fries. Not always the most nutritionally balanced, especially if we're putting them in a deep fryer, because that adds a lot of extra fat there. But in the frozen section, if you do oven fries, that can be a little healthier for us, okay? So another good place to kind of pick out the guiding stars, so pick out some healthier options. Over here, we do have some One Guiding Star frozen sweet potato fries, and we have also up here, these are just plain hash brown style potatoes. So these are just plain shredded potatoes with a little oil in them. They get 1 guiding star. And the reason they would get 1 guiding star as opposed to, 2 or 3 is because they're peeled potatoes, so you lose some of the fiber from the skin. And then they do have a little bit of oil and probably a little bit of salt on them. Actually, no salt, so that's nice that they don't have any added salt. So these can be added, you can use those for potato pancakes. You can add them to soups or casseroles. You can, put them in a little oil and pan and fry them up for breakfast. So these are a really nice, convenient way to get potatoes. And we also have the sliced white potatoes. So again, not a true root vegetable, more a tuber, but these are just another form that we can get root vegetables. Unit price wise, this is $1.01 per pound. So about on par with what we were finding over in produce department for the loose, large pound bags. So those are about 99 cents a pound or 95 cents a pound, I believe. And these are about $1 a pound. So pretty on par. So another root vegetable that we carry here in the store is these radishes. Now these are red globe radishes, and they're the most commonly found in most grocery stores. There's also daikon radishes and horseradish are another varieties of radish, and they all come with different flavors, of course. Radishes, these ones in particular, are a great source of potassium and folate and vitamin C, and also a good source of fiber. And I love radishes in salads or in dips, or kind of sliced. They add a really nice crunch and sometimes a pepperiness or a spiciness to things. So, and visually they're also very pretty as well. So these are a great one to try if you need kind of a new root vegetable to try. All right, so we've done the tour of the grocery store. We've been to the produce section, we've been to the canned vegetable section, and we've been to the frozen food section. So what we know now is that, root vegetables come in a lot of different forms. And if we want to get the most nutrition for our dollar, we really want to focus on larger packages of things, things with maybe that are a little less convenient, unless we're in, canned or frozen, in which case we can get a lot of convenience and a lot of nutrition for a little money, right? So, and then the other thing is to focus, nutritionally on the darker colors. So, the dark reds and the dark oranges are going to have more of those great antioxidants, and, like the beta carotene and the betalins and the beets and everything. And then, of course, all the root vegetables are good sources of fiber. Many of them are good sources of potassium, some of, various vitamins and minerals. So they're really a good nutritional powerhouse, as well as being great for this time of year because, we can get them locally or locally produced here because they're, they store really, really well. And they're really, useful for all kinds of different recipes. So some of my favorite recipe websites to go to for those kinds of things are the Fruits and Vegetables morematters.org website, as well as the USDA My Plate has some great vegetable websites, as well as, lots of different great information on healthy eating. You can also go to the Hannaford website, and under the tab that says Healthy Eating, you can find out more about the dietitian program here and some of the recipes that we've done in the past on that section too.
So thank you, Andrea, for joining us today and giving us a tour of the grocery store.
It's my pleasure.
And next time you tune in in the kitchen with us, we're going to be making potato pancakes using some of those root vegetables that we're exploring today. Yeah. So I'm Gail Platts, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. And this is one of my favorite things, is chopped onions in the freezer section. It's $1.32 per pound, so it's 99 cents for a package, and they're already chopped, and they'll stay good. It's also a reminder that if you have a large onion and you could chop it up and throw it in the freezer, and it'll store a lot longer than in your refrigerator. I could have an elbow in a shot like this.
Just walk through.
Ready to... That one.
Oh my gosh. I could work with beets right now, and I wouldn't have to worry about them staining my clothes.
And then if we go into these more convenient packages, the steamable potatoes.
Oh, potato down. 10 pounds here.
Before you go,
yes.
grab some broccoli so I'm not in your way.
You go for it.
I really don't want to be on camera,
You can jump right in here.
I'm good.
Okay. Would you like to grab something? Radishes?
No,
All right, go ahead.